Hi, it's Carl here from PresentationExpressions.com. In this video, presentation advice for non-native English speakers. So here's what you're going to learn in this video. Is it good to memorize a script or not? Should you use more words on the slides? And some suggestions and recommendations. So to memorize or not to memorize a script, I say do not memorize a script ever, okay? Never memorize a script. The reason why? It's unnatural unless you're a great actor. Also, it feels fake to the audience. Plus, it's bad and embarrassing if you forget something. Also, the material is familiar to you, so you don't really need to memorize a whole bunch of lines and a whole bunch of scripts as well. So, more or less words. Well, always use less words and never use sentences. The reason why is that you are giving a presentation. So if you had a lot of words or sentences on the slides, the audience can read them. You don't need to give the presentation then. So you're also not communicating with your audience when you are just reading from your slides. And if you don't memorize the slides, and if you're only using a few words on your slides, you can forget something and nobody will know. Okay, so forgetting is going to be okay in that case. So here are my suggestions and recommendations for what you can do instead of those two things that I said you shouldn't do. You should memorize the key points and facts, okay? So even if you know the material very well, you should still memorize the key points and facts that you want to present. You should also use the presentation expressions and phrases that we've taught you here. So this will help you to introduce your presentation, introduce your topics, go through transitioning from your topics, and also to do your conclusion and your summary and things like that. Okay, so those are very, very helpful expressions for you. Now, you have to also be very careful with humor. Okay, I would recommend, if you're not a native English speaker, to try not to use so much humor, okay, unless you are very confident with it. And the reason why is because sometimes humor doesn't translate between cultures. So what's funny to you in your culture might not be funny in another culture. Also, if your pronunciation is not very good, then this could be a problem as well, because people won't understand what you're saying. So the best thing to do, as I put here, is to use quotes or pictures instead if you really want to have some extra sort of things in your presentation, okay? So you can always search for a quote on a quote website, and that might be appropriate for your presentation. Or also you might want to find a picture somewhere that's appropriate for your presentation. And you can get this information on our website as well. We have different resources for that. The other thing you should do is that if you're a non-native English speaker is to practice more, okay? To become more smooth in your delivery, okay? Also, don't worry about your English ability. Never say, my English is very bad, so I'm sorry if my presentation is not very good, something like that. What you should do instead, though, is work on your pronunciation and work on your intonation for clarity. Also, if you have trouble with certain words, don't use those words, okay? Don't use those hard to pronounce words. Use something easier instead. But if you have to use those difficult words because maybe they are very specialized, like medical terms or legal terms or whatever else, then practice them, okay? Listen to yourself, record yourself and listen to yourself, and get someone who is a native speaker or someone who can say those words perfectly to help you. Also, like I said, you want to become very smooth in your delivery, so that's why you want to practice more, okay? Practice more so that you're just very smooth in giving the introduction, in talking about your topics, in talking about the main points, in your summary, everything. You want to be very smooth in the delivery. You also want to record yourself giving the presentation, practicing giving the presentation, so that you can see how you're doing, how smooth is your delivery, how's your timing, how's your body language, everything. Then you also want to show somebody that video so you can get feedback from them. So for example, you might want to show a colleague, or you might want to show a friend or someone who can give you some feedback. And also, as I said already, do not make any excuses during your presentation. So if your language skills are not that high, do not make an excuse for that. Don't say, excuse me, but my English isn't very good, so please excuse me. Or don't say, I was sick today, so maybe my presentation won't be so good. Don't ever make any excuses. This will tell your audience that you don't have any confidence in your presentation and confidence in yourself. So if you're trying to sell them something, well, they're going to feel your lack of confidence, and they probably won't buy from you, or they won't believe what you're saying. So very, very bad things. So that's basically it. Just very, very quick overview of what you should do if you're a non-native English speaker. If you have any questions about what I've tried to teach you here, please email us, okay, at presentationexpressions@gmail.com. Thank you very much for watching. Talk to you again very soon. Bye-bye.